Damon Castellano did not allow disorder. Not in his house. Not in his life. Not in his world. Every object in his penthouse had a precise location. Every surface was spotless. Every pillow aligned. Every light dimmed to the exact percentage. So when he walked into his private study at 1:42 a.m. and saw someone on his couch, his entire body went still. Imani Banks was asleep, curled slightly on a leather sofa, still wearing her work uniform. Her shoes were half off. A file folder rested loosely in her hand. The room lights were still on. A glass of untouched water sat beside her. Damon stared. She was not supposed to be there. She was not supposed to be sleeping during inventory hours. Her head tilted slightly to the side, dark circles under her eyes. Her breathing slow and uneven, exhausted, not lazy, not careless, exhausted. Damon stepped closer. His jaw tightened. "This is unacceptable," he said quietly. She didn't move. He noticed something else. A hospital bracelet around her wrist. His eyes narrowed. He reached down and gently shook her shoulder. "Imani," she gasped awake, confused, panicked. "I'm sorry," she said immediately, standing too fast. "I didn't mean to." Her legs almost gave out. Damon caught her before she hit the floor. Their hands touched. Electric, unexpected. He quickly released her. "You are not scheduled to sleep in this room." Her voice trembled. "I wasn't trying to. I just needed 5 minutes." 5 minutes during audit preparation? She looked down. "My mother's chemotherapy ended late. I came straight here." Silence filled the room. Damon studied her carefully. Something about this did not look like weakness. It looked like desperation. And Damon understood desperation. But he didn't show it. Instead, he said coldly, "If you cannot handle this job, you should not be here." Her eyes lifted slowly. "I don't have the luxury of quitting." And in that moment, Damon realized this was not just about employment. There was something deeper, something she wasn't saying. And he would soon discover that the woman sleeping on his couch was carrying a burden far heavier than exhaustion. But to understand how she ended up here, you have to go back. 3 months earlier, Imani Banks worked 3 jobs. Morning, hotel housekeeping. Afternoon, restaurant cleaning. Night, office sanitation. Her alarm rang at 4:30 a.m. every day. She never snoozed it, because snoozing meant less money, and less money meant losing her mother. Mama Loretta had stage 3 cancer. Aggressive, fast. The doctor had spoken clearly. Without surgery, it will spread. The cost? $140,000. Imani stared at the printed estimate over and over. The numbers didn't shrink. They didn't adjust. They didn't care that she only made minimum wage. Every shift, she repeated the same sentence in her head. "I will save her, even if it breaks me." Damon Castellano was known for 2 things: his billions and his rules. His penthouse was silent perfection. Shoes lined up evenly by color gradient. Books organized by height and tone. Kitchen counters measured down to inches. Nothing out of place. If a chair moved even slightly, he noticed. If a fingerprint appeared on glass, he wiped it immediately. His staff lasted an average of 3 months. Not because he yelled. He rarely raised his voice. But because his standards were suffocating. Everything had to be precise. Everything had to be predictable. Because unpredictability once cost him everything. But no one knew that yet. The hospital room was small. The machines beeped softly. Mama Loretta tried to smile through the pain. "You look tired, baby." "I'm fine," Imani lied. She was not fine. She had sold her car, pawned her jewelry, Applied for emergency assistance. Rejected. 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 The surgeon pulled her aside. We need to schedule surgery within 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yes. Imani nodded slowly. I'll find the money. She walked outside and sat alone on the hospital steps. For the first time in years, she allowed herself to cry. Quietly, because no one was coming to save them. Imani accepted a temporary cleaning contract at Castellano Tower. High security. Strict rules. No mistakes allowed. She was briefed carefully. Do not touch personal devices. Do not rearrange objects. Do not improvise. She nodded. Yes, yes, yes. She needed this job. The penthouse was unlike anything she had seen. Floor-to-ceiling windows, marble floors, private elevator, luxury in every direction. But it didn't feel warm. It felt controlled, measured, watching. She moved carefully, slowly wiping surfaces, counting steps unconsciously, trying not to disturb anything. Then, it happened. Her elbow brushed against something on the kitchen island. A sleek black device. Custom-made. Thin. Perfect. Expensive-looking. It slid. Fell. Hit the marble floor. The screen shattered instantly. The sound echoed loudly in the silent penthouse. Imani froze. Her heart pounded. She knelt slowly. Picked it up. The screen flickered once. Then went dark. Footsteps approached from behind. Measured. Controlled. Damon's reflection appeared in the marble surface. He stopped when he saw the broken phone in her hands. His voice was calm. Too calm. What happened? I'm sorry, she said immediately. It was an accident. He walked forward, took the phone carefully, examined the cracks. This device cost $80,000. The air left her lungs. I don't have that kind of money. I know. Silence. He looked at her longer than necessary. Then he asked quietly, Your mother is ill, correct? Her eyes widened. How do you know that? Emergency contact file. He placed the phone down carefully. I will replace the device. She blinked. You will? And I will pay for your mother's surgery. Her breathing stopped. But you will sign a 2-year live-in contract. The room felt smaller. You'll live here. Full-time. No outside employment. Total confidentiality. And if I refuse, you owe $80,000 immediately. Her hands trembled. 3 weeks. Her mother had 3 weeks. Damon waited patiently. Not cruel, not loud, just controlled. Imani closed her eyes for a moment, then opened them. I'll sign. And in that moment, neither of them knew that this contract would heal more than just a broken phone. The contract was thicker than Imani expected. 27 pages. Detailed clauses. Behavior rules. Confidentiality warnings. Performance standards. Damon sat across from her at the marble dining table. A pen placed exactly parallel to the edge. You will live here immediately, he said calmly. She scanned the document slowly. 2 years is a long time. Yes. I cannot work anywhere else. No. And if I break the contract? You repay the full amount. Surgery costs included. Her chest tightened. That meant the $80,000 phone, plus the $140,000 medical bill. $220,000. Impossible money. She looked at him carefully. Why me? You were already here. That's not a reason. Damon's eyes did not move. I prefer consistency. Imani understood. He did not want to train someone new. He wanted control. She signed. Her hand trembled slightly. The sound of the pen scratching against paper felt heavier than it should. Damon collected the pages neatly. I will have your mother's surgery scheduled by tomorrow. For the first time, his voice softened. You should call her. And just like that, her life changed. The next morning, Imani woke up in a guest suite larger than her entire apartment. Soft gray walls, perfectly folded sheets, a digital clock that displayed seconds. 6 a.m. At exactly 6 o'clock, her phone buzzed. A daily schedule notification. 6 o'clock, personal readiness. 6:30, kitchen reset inspection. 7 o'clock, surface sanitation review. 8 o'clock, inventory log update. 10 o'clock, closet alignment audit. 12 o'clock, lunch precision check. 4 o'clock, floor symmetry scan. 9 o'clock, night order confirmation. It was detailed down to minutes. She stepped into the main living space. Damon was already there, dressed in a dark suit, standing near the kitchen counter. You are 2 minutes late, he said without turning. It's 6:32. Exactly. She inhaled slowly. I'm adjusting. He faced her. In this home, there is no adjusting. There is precision. She looked around. Everything shined. Everything was measured. It felt less like a home, more like a museum. She moved carefully through her tasks. But no matter how careful she was, he always noticed something. The knives are not parallel. The towel fold is uneven. The plant is rotated 3 degrees. She wanted to scream. Instead, she exhaled slowly. This was not about perfection. This was about fear, and she was beginning to see it. 3 weeks passed. Mama Loretta's surgery was successful. The tumor was removed. Recovery would take time. Imani felt relief for the first time in months. But relief did not change the penthouse. Damon remained strict, precise, unmoving. One evening, while reorganizing his bookshelf, Imani stopped measuring. She adjusted one book slightly. Not perfectly, just enough. Damon entered the room. His steps froze. That is not aligned. It's fine. It is not fine. It's a book. It has a position. She turned to face him. Does everything in your life need a position? Silence. He stepped closer. Yes. Why? Because when things move, they disappear. The words slipped out before he could stop them. Imani noticed a shift. When things move, they disappear, she repeated softly. He did not answer. Instead, he reached for the book. She reached at the same time. Their fingers brushed. Electric. Stillness. Neither pulled away immediately. His breathing changed slightly. Hers did too. For a second, the room felt smaller, warmer, more human. Damon stepped back first. Do not test boundaries, he said. But his voice lacked its usual control. It happened at 2:17 a.m. Imani woke up to a sound. Not loud, but sharp. Footsteps. Rapid. Unsteady. She stepped into the hallway. Damon's bedroom door was open. Lights were on. Sheets thrown onto the floor. He stood in the center of the room, breathing heavily. Everything is wrong, he muttered. He began adjusting the nightstand. Then the lamp. Then the picture frame. Over and over. Imani stepped inside slowly. You're gonna hurt yourself. Leave. No. He stopped briefly. His hands trembled. Leave, Imani. She moved closer instead. What happened? Silence. His chest rose and fell quickly. There was a fire, he said finally. The words were barely audible. She didn't interrupt. He stared at the floor. I was 8. He swallowed. Our house caught fire at night. His voice grew thinner. My father and sister were asleep upstairs. Imani's heart tightened. I was outside. He laughed bitterly. Because I had moved my toy car. It wasn't in the right place. Silence filled the room. I survived, he continued. They didn't. His eyes looked distant. My mother never forgave herself. And I never forgave myself. Imani understood now. Control wasn't preference. It was protection. If everything stays where it belongs, he whispered, nothing disappears. She slowly bent down, picked up the fallen sheets, folded them gently, not perfectly, just softly. You were a child, she said quietly. He shook his head. It should have been me. She stepped closer. No. Their eyes locked, and for the first time, he did not look powerful. He looked broken. Imani sat beside him on the floor. The penthouse felt different now. Less cold, more fragile. You cannot control tragedy, she said softly. You can't schedule it. You can't align it. He looked at her, his eyes red. Then what do I do? You feel it. Silence. I don't know how. She hesitated. Then gently place her hand over his. Start by not doing it alone. He didn't pull away. He didn't correct her grip. He just sat there, breathing, for the first time in years. He allowed something to be imperfect. Her hand stayed on his longer than necessary, and neither of them mentioned it. Outside the windows, the city lights shimmered. Inside the penthouse, something shifted. The contract still existed. The rules still stood. But now, there was something else between them. Not control, not obligation. Something warmer, and far more dangerous. Because once walls begin to crack, they don't go back to being solid. After surgery, Mama Loretta recovered, stronger than before, and she asked to meet Damon. She sat across from him in the penthouse. Her voice was calm but firm. You paid my hospital bill. Yes, but you trapped my daughter. Damon didn't respond. You made her sign because she was desperate. Silence. You don't own her. Her words were sharp but truthful. You are not a villain, Mama Loretta continued, but you are hurting. And hurting people sometimes hurt others. Damon's jaw tightened. No one had spoken to him like this in years. That night, Damon walked to Imani's room. He held the contract in his hand. I'm releasing you, he said. She stared at him. What? You owe me nothing. And Mama Loretta's bills? Paid. No conditions. Silence. Her voice was steady. Why? He exhaled. Because I don't want you here out of obligation. He looked at her carefully. I want you here because you choose to be. Imani could leave. She was free. No debt. No contract. She packed her bag slowly, then stopped. She walked back to the living room. I'll stay, she said. Damon's eyes lifted. But not as your employee. Silence. You need therapy, she added firmly. And we date properly. No control. No contracts. For the first time, Damon almost smiled. Deal. Weeks later, another visitor arrived. Catherine Castellano, Damon's estranged mother. They hadn't spoken in years. The room felt heavy. Then Catherine stepped forward. I should have protected you, she whispered. Damon's voice trembled slightly. We both survived. They embraced. Tears fell, not from weakness, but from release. Healing had begun. Damon purchased a luxury apartment for Imani and Mama Loretta, not as payment, not as control, as commitment. The penthouse changed. It became less rigid, more human, books slightly uneven, pillows not perfectly aligned. And Damon didn't panic. Imani still worked hard. But now, she was a partner, not property. And Damon learned something priceless. Love is not control. Healing is not perfection. And freedom is the most powerful gift you can give someone. Some contracts are written on paper, but the most important ones are written in trust.